Welcome back and happy Halloween. Today I'm going to take a look at 3 Castlevania games for the Game Boy. So first up we've got Castlevania the Adventure for Game Boy. This is very basic, left to right. You've got a jump button and an attack button. Pretty much all you do is, it's really short as well. It's a little different than the Nintendo version because the controls are not the same. It's very slow and very delayed. I did not enjoy playing this at all. It's just too basic, but I suppose it is a Game Boy, like, so I haven't played that many Game Boy games, but they are pretty basic, alright. So you control Christopher Belmont in this one, and you're trying to get rid of Dracula again. I can't really recommend this one, it's just too basic. So this is the second one on Game Boy, Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. This one is it's much more advanced than the first game. There's actually sub-weapons in this one, so there's 3 or 4 sub-weapons, and also it's similar to Mega Man. There's 4 different branching paths, so there's 4 different castles, like, and they're all elements, I think, and you pick whichever castle you want to go to first, and you can do them in any order. So basically there's a bit more plot to this one as well, although there's not much plot in the game anyway, but Christopher Belmont's son has been kidnapped by Dracula, and Dracula can take human form and then comes back, and you have to kill him, and you have to whip everything once again, similar to the previous games. Again, this one, they're just too basic, these games. I don't know, I can't really get into them or anything. I wouldn't really recommend playing them. I think they're just for kind of, you know, if you've got nostalgia for the Game Boy. I don't really have any nostalgia for the Game Boy because I never really played it that much, like, so yeah, Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, not really great either. Okay, so this one's Castlevania Legends. This one you take control of Sonia Belmont, and this one is a lot easier than the other two. It's more advanced as well. The control is still sort of a bit sticky, although not as bad as the first one. Yeah, you just go left to right to left, or up to down. You don't really go, it's not really very maze-like. Yeah, so you can take control of Sonia Belmont, and you meet Alucard in this one, which is pretty good because I really like Alucard. But again, it's very basic, and this apparently was the first game in the timeline until Lament of Innocence. This was the oldest one. Apparently Sonia swore to Alucard that she would keep her Belmont family would keep defeating Dracula as long as he rose up, and Alucard swore the same, which is awesome. This one, there's more. It's a lot easier because you don't lose your kind of. In the other games, you get a whip. You start off with a whip, and then you get a power up, which makes the whip bigger, and then the third or fourth power up is like a whip. A ball comes out of the whip, or a fireball or something. But you don't lose the fireball when you get hit in this one. You do in the other two, which makes it extremely difficult. But this one is okay. It's still, the graphics are still too basic, and it's hard to look at. If you compare it to the other Castlevania games, these are far too basic, but it's nice to see where the series came from. So that's Castlevania Legends. So that's the 3 Castlevania games for the Game Boy. They're pretty basic, to be honest. They're not as advanced as the other games, but they're still pretty okay, I guess, if you like looking at black and white or green and white graphics all the time. Happy Halloween!